Hey YouTube, welcome back. We are going to be talking about Micron Technologies Inc., which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol MU, and they are announcing earnings this upcoming Thursday, and that is going to be on the 7th, January 7th. The reason that I want to talk about Micron Technology or MU is because this is a stock that I actually made a video on last time they announced earnings, and they had a wonderful earnings. I didn't necessarily say I wanted to do the call spread last time. What I wanted to talk about was the put credit spread, and that is because I saw a bright future ahead for Micron. And as I'm sure you can tell, what we actually see is that they did indeed have a bright future ahead of them. So let's talk about how they performed over the past 6 months. Then we can talk about the fact that this is, again, an industry that I am very familiar with and one that I invest in heavily. So we talked about UMC, we talked about TSM, both of which have continued to do really, really well as NVIDIA and AMD. All of those stocks had fantastic Q1, Q2, Q3 performance over the course of the past year. And what we didn't see happen was there was not a strong Q4 performance from the stock, but the companies all continued to do really, really well, where that is actually when MU or Micron actually had their best performance. So they were almost playing catch up. That's why I was bullish on them originally. That's why we talked about them at the point in time. And you can see where we've got those earnings splits at that point in time that caused that steady uptick to continue. And I anticipate more of the same. Again, I am very bullish on MU. I like the company as a whole. And this is a company that, again, is heavily involved in the construction or the build of the semiconductors that are used from anything from chips to cell phones to automobiles. So there's a lot to like about this company. And from a PE ratio perspective, you can see that this is really not up to date as of their current share price, but they are trading at a little bit of a lower ranking compared to what some of their peers trade at in the AMDs as well as the NVIDIAs of the world, although it's pretty kind of in line with the TXN, and one that I don't see here would be Broadcom. So again, they're not doing anything out of the ordinary when it comes to how they kind of trade against a AMD like you see here or a TXN. But what I am anticipating is that this trend will continue. I would like to see them at a higher total valuation from a price to earnings perspective, because this is a company that continues to grow. And that's really what we're going to be looking at is their growth continuing. So let's look at like the total revenue just over the past few quarters. I like all the trends that you see here. I think this is going to continue. And the way that I am looking at this is I really want to go on the debit spread side with some time, but this is very expensive right now because, again, the company is expected to do well and there's a lot of change expected going forward. But just look at some of this growth in terms of the actual bottom line and where it's going. Now, why was there such a spike in 2018? This is when we expected the optimism surrounding cryptocurrency to continue, and I anticipate that, as I'm sure you've seen this far, that is going to continue as well. Keep in mind that the 2020 revenue that you see here is as of 9/30, and we want to see that as or the 9/03, we want to see that as the 12/01, the year-end money, because that is where the majority of their money comes in. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Again, this has trended to be a more productive or a higher revenue, higher EPS time is Q4, and that expectation is going to continue. So we've got a lot of optimism surrounding going into earnings, but that leaves us with very expensive options that we may be looking at playing. So again, I need to go farther out than just this week. I like the end of February's or the mid-February and the call options. Again, I'm looking at the spreads. So what I'm looking at is really probably that 77 and the 80, maybe a little bit farther out of the money, depending on what we see. So depending on the price of those tomorrow and Wednesday, what I may do is actually hold and buy a continuation. So if the stock shoots up, I can wait on that and I can just purchase after those shares begin their continuation, where there's an initial drop the following day. It depends on if they gap up. Again, I don't think that this is a stock just due to the fact that it is not a small company. Let me show you real quick. And you can see it's an $83 billion company. They've got a lot of shares outstanding, so this is not the type of company that's going to instantaneously run from $74 to $100 over the course of the next month. However, they do have the capability of doing that over the course of a next year, which would still be a 33% return. So I am a big fan of the industry. I like this company, and I do think that there's a lot of opportunity here. Again, I think that there's a lot of value to a put credit spread because I don't think that they're going to go down, but I don't know how far down I would price that without looking at the prices at this point in time. And because this is after hours, I anticipate that's going to change. But again, this is a company with a lot to like, a lot going for it. But again, it may be brought down by the broader market sentiment, particularly with an election going on tomorrow that will have an impact on taxes going forward. So there is a lot going on right now. Overall, the consensus is I do like Micron, and you don't have to just stick with me on that. You can see that there's some other companies that agree with that as well. And one analyst who appears to be pretty bearish on the stock. But a lot to like about them, a lot to continue watching. And let me know your comments or thoughts on the stock down below. And if you found this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. As always, excited to have these conversations with you and would welcome you to join the Discord. And last but not least, keep in mind that this is not a recommendation and I am not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy on YouTube. So thank you all for watching the video. And if you found this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.